Welcome to the first episode of Insurance Mysteries Solved with Nick and Nancy. Today we'll be covering deductibles. You want to start it off?
I would love to. So probably one of the most common questions we get about insurance is, what is my deductible and how does it work? It seems like it should be a simple concept, but it can be kind of confusing depending on the type of insurance policy that you have. So your deductible is quite simply the amount that you pay before the insurance company shares costs with you. Now, that again sounds pretty straightforward, but it depends on the type of insurance, whether you're on a traditional plan or a high deductible health plan. We'll get into a little bit more of that in a bit.
So one of the most common questions we get asked is, how does my deductible work in the event of a major medical situation? And in that case, generally you're going to be paying some large amount. And the first thing you're going to be responsible for paying before your insurance company picks up any of the cost sharing with you is your deductible. So if you had a $10,000 medical expense and a $2,000 deductible, you wouldn't be paying the $10,000 medical expense. First, you would pay the $2,000 out of your pocket, which is your deductible, and then your insurance company would begin cost sharing with you using your co-insurance for the rest of the expense up until you hit your out-of-pocket maximum. Do you want to talk about the difference between HSA and PPO plans and how the deductible works there? Sure.
So this is one of the most confusing things for a lot of people, is in a traditional plan, PPO or a indemnity plan, the deductible doesn't apply to everything. So in other words, if you go to the doctor's office, oftentimes you will have simply a co-payment and it'll say deductible waived or deductible does not apply. So if you pay $30 when you go to the doctor, that doesn't count toward your deductible, but it does count towards your maximum out of pocket. So again, a lot of little nuances that make it kind of confusing. But if you do have a high deductible health plan or an HSA plan, everything is subject to the deductible except for preventive care. So whether it is a doctor's visit, an emergency room visit, a hospitalization, or even a prescription, it's all subject to the deductible. So Nick, what would be the advantage of a high deductible versus a low deductible?
Yeah, that's a question we definitely get asked a lot, and the advantage of having a lower deductible is that your insurance company is going to begin paying for things sooner. So if you had a $250 deductible, you would only have to pay $250 in the event of, let's say, you broke your arm before your insurance company would begin cost sharing with you using your co-insurance. But if you had, let's say, a $5,500 deductible, you'd be responsible for paying $5,500, which could be the entire cost of the expense, before your co-insurance will begin. And generally those couple with higher out-of-pocket maximums, so that's why your premium is generally lower for the higher deductible plans, and your premium is generally higher for the lower deductible plans.
You know, think of it like your auto insurance. You get a quote for a $500 deductible and you think, wow, that premium is really high. And they say, well, don't worry about it. With a $2,500 deductible, we can lower your premium. So you're trading dollars. The higher deductible means the lower premium because there's less risk to the insurance company and more risk to you. So you just have to kind of decide what's most important to you and where that spot that provides the most value and where it meets in the middle. So one of the things we mentioned a couple times in this is maximum out of pocket. We're going to dive into that deeper on our next episode because, in our opinion, the maximum out of pocket is even more important than your deductible.
That's right, and there are separate deductibles for different things like prescriptions. We'll get into that in another episode, but we're just talking about your medical deductible, and it's definitely one of the most important things to consider when selecting a plan. So if you have a major medical expense coming up, like a surgery or some type of procedure, you probably want to go with a lower deductible so that your co-insurance will start sooner for you.
So hopefully today we have solved one insurance mystery for you, how your deductible works.
We'll see you next time.